Okay, hello, Iris. I'm so happy you're here. And I know we're going to dive into your experience in the Find Your Job Joy program. But before we do that, would you take a minute to introduce yourself?
Of course. I'm Iris Whalen. I live in the western suburbs around Boston, Massachusetts. I am a software QA analyst and also a fitness enthusiast. And I've been looking for a career change and have really enjoyed participating in the Find Your Job Joy program.
Amazing. And let's actually talk about this. So let's rewind the tape. And if we go back to at the very beginning when we first met and you were considering joining the program, tell us where you were at. What was going on at work? How were you doing, like feeling wise? Where were you at when you were thinking about the program?
Well, I had been looking around, maybe a little bit of interviewing for some positions in my current field, but I was confused. I had seen some Facebook and internet ads of career coaches and gone to some free master classes, and none of them really jived with me. Some of them were looking for a really huge time commitment. Some of them would say, oh, you need to do at least 12 hours per week. And I knew that I just did not have 12 hours per week because I'm working full time. So I felt overwhelmed by them. I said, well, I'm not going to pay a lot of money for a program that I can't fit into my schedule. What's the point of that? So I found myself just looking at job ads, and I still am doing that somewhat. I was trying to see what I wanted and what I didn't, and finding I was screening a lot of positions out. And I was just confused. I wanted to make a change, but I didn't know how. I really needed coaching and guidance.
Amazing. Thank you. And now you're a graduate of the program. You've been through the whole 10 weeks. Tell us where you're at now. How are you feeling? How are you on your clarity? I was looking back at our original notes from our first call, and you said you wanted a plan. You said you wanted to be able to network in a non-awkward way. So tell me, how are you feeling with all that now?
Feeling a lot better, though it's still a work in progress
Yeah,
because,
of course.
in 10 weeks, which is how long the program is, it's just a lot of work because it's not just resumes and LinkedIn profile and interview skills, but you really address the needs of the whole person. And that's why I liked your program and why I wholeheartedly endorse it, is that you ask for people to really do the clarity work and think about uh, what do I want? What is ideal? And for me, the big part was, how did I get here? And part
Yeah.
of it is that I started a progression when I was young, and I didn't really change it as I grew and my life changed. And now what seemed to fit when I was starting in my career doesn't fit what I want now, and I need to make changes. So I see what my motivators were early on in my career, and that the motivators are different now, and that I need to make changes.
Yeah, that's huge. Because we don't want to go through the trouble to get a new job, even potentially pivot a little in our careers, only to realize a few months in or a year in, we're in the same situation.
Yes.
Why we, really dig in. And you're absolutely right. We're holistic, right? This is not just about getting a job, it's about getting the right job for you and this season of your life with everything else that's so important to you. So I love that you brought that up.
Mm.
And like you are networking for someone who wasn't comfortable. You're even breaking the LinkedIn algorithms with all the networking and researching you're doing, which on one hand it's not good, but on the other hand it shows me you're doing the work, which makes me very happy.
The whole LinkedIn
Yeah,
thing, it does take a while. It does take a lot of research.
yeah.
I have taken a class on it before, but I think your method where, you go in, you respond to people's postings, you make, suggestions. I find that really helpful because some of this is not obvious. And for those of us who haven't been using it, and especially because this is the only way to network.
Yeah, well, right. We need to be able to network. Of course, when we think of networking, we think of, going to events. But no matter what's going on in the world, I would have also told you to do this networking from home and networking where you're talking to people, because that's how you have deeper one-on-one relationships. And that's going to get you the job more so than talking to 10 people at an event that aren't even going to remember you, or you're barely going to remember them. So I think, no matter what, you would have gone down this path a little bit. And I'm just really proud of you for doing it, for doing the work. And like you said, like when you had a question in our Facebook group, right? I'd make you a little video for it. So you always get the feedback that you need. So let's go to the next question. And this is kind of the wild card question. Was there anything surprising or any favorite parts about the program that you'd want to share? Any takeaways, surprises, ahas?
Well, a lot of it involved, the inner work and me realizing some personal reasons why I feel the way I do about networking, the reasons why, I might have imposter syndrome and fear rejection. I'm afraid that I don't measure up and that I am not enough, that there's reasons behind that. And digging deep and coming to terms with that and realizing that it doesn't have to always be this way. This is holding you back. You need to get through this and over this and be more confident. And that was huge for me. Just trying to think. The whole thing with money and prestige and how that was valued in the community where I grew up and also in my family, and how I was using that, not what I really was most interested in. And of course, there's always the where are the jobs now? Where can I get my foot in thing where I'd get into a position because they'd have me and it wasn't difficult. And there weren't too many excruciating interviews, and I was shy about networking and had to go look for jobs that were listed. So that was, a big part of that. And I heard about the unpublished job market, all these jobs that are not published but do exist. I'm like, well, maybe it's time I changed the way I did things and tried to find out about positions that are not, listed.
Posted. Yeah, most are never posted. So that is huge. And wonderful. So one more question for you, Iris, and that is this. If someone is considering joining the Find Your Job Joy program, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say it's a great program because you really address the needs of the whole person. I was getting to the point where I was living for the weekends and thinking that everybody felt the way about their job that I did, especially if they'd been there a while and it wasn't fresh and new to them. And, it doesn't have to be that way. And we deserve to enjoy what we do. And the other participants, it's been a great experience hearing their sides and their perspectives and gaining some ideas on problems they may have that may be different from me, problems that might be in common. And our whole alumni group that met this past Saturday, we were all in such harmony during our meeting. There was so much that we had to share, so much we had in common, and that we really benefited from each other. So I just thought it's a wonderful community, both during the meetings and in the Facebook group. People were really supporting each other when we were, from a couple weeks when we got to know each other towards the end as well. And I know I'm going to be keeping in touch with a lot of these people for some time to come.
Yeah.
And I haven't done things like this in the past. So for me, meeting people from all over the country and even somebody from Canada and trying to help each other and get through this, and it's been wonderful. And so, I think there is much a big benefit of the program as the coaching from Kristen. So I highly recommend anyone who wants to really address their needs as a person, who want a rewarding career. This is a great way to get the coaching and get the support.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Iris. Thank you for sharing your story. And it's just been a joy to have you in the community. And I'm so excited we get to continue. So with that, I will say goodbye and we'll be talking soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.